Okay, hey everybody, this is Terry Luongo, and welcome to the Home Base Monday Night Team Up Call. And I am so excited tonight. Number one, I always love that we get together every single Monday night. And you guys know for me, it's like family reunion. It's what really kind of brings this community and brings our tribe and our teams together. I decided last year to do an entire SALT training. And SALT is called Serving and Leading Team. And where we would get together like every fall in the Dallas area. And I based that entire training pretty much on the works of Think and Grow Rich, which is a very, not just an influential book of its time, it's about 100 years old, but it's probably the most influential book of all times, okay? It is the preeminent book about personal achievement, financial independence, and riches of spirit, you know, beyond measure in money and relationships and everything. And so I thought that because the team has grown so much in the past year, and so many of us have not viewed this movie, that I would take the month of July to break this movie down, to give you, because the movie is based on the book, okay? And to give you, and that we could all do this together as a community. Because when one person learns, everybody learns. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Now, I hope that you have taken time to do the self-assessment, because do not shortchange yourself. If you're going to come to this, do the homework, because the self-assessment helps you to see what is your mindset, your philosophy, your beliefs in terms of success and achievement. So I'm going to give you my definition of mindset, but first I want to start with this. First we become, then we attract. We grow personally, and then we attract materially. First we become. And what we become is all about our mindset. And this is a definition that I wrote about mindset about 5 years ago. Your mindset is the sum total of your beliefs, your values, your identity, your expectations, your attitudes, your habits, your decisions, your opinions, and thought patterns about yourself, about others, about how life works. It's the filter through which you interpret what you see and experience. And here, my friends, your mindset shapes your life and draws to you results that are in absolute perfect reflection of it. What you believe will happen will happen. If you have a mindset that life is hard, believe me, life will be hard. So this whole series that we're going to do is about breaking down your mindset. Number one, making you aware of what is your mindset. Okay, we're going to break down different areas of this movie. We're going to watch the movie for 20 minutes. Okay, we're going to do a segment every night for the next Monday nights. And so again, jot down here any aha moment that you get from this movie. All right, Kathy, go ahead. My Steven Spielberg.
At the turn of the 20th century, a young reporter, Napoleon Hill, was given an assignment to interview steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, a man who, despite being an immigrant born into poverty, had become one of the wealthiest people in history. During the fabled encounter, Carnegie asked Hill if he would be willing to dedicate his life to unearthing and documenting the secrets of the most successful people to ever live, and to share this formula with the world, to give everyone the opportunity to fulfill their dreams and achieve anything they so desire. The young reporter accepted Carnegie's challenge and began a 25-year journey that would lead him to interview many extraordinary people. In 1937, the results of this quest were immortalized in Think and Grow Rich. In it, Hill showed that those who succeed do so irrespective of their circumstance, that potential is not predicated on age, race, education, gender, finances, or any other perceived disadvantage. It ignited a flame of ambition and helped end the Great Depression. 100 million copies, and 80 years later, This book continues to inspire ordinary people to extraordinary achievement. It is the playbook through which countless entrepreneurs, innovators, and cultural icons unlock their potential, creating an alternate reality of abundance, purpose, and prosperity.
Thomas, why are you not in school? Your son is a genius. This school is too small for him and doesn't have enough good teachers for training him. Please teach him yourself. I'm gonna have you read to me today. So here you go. Remember where we left off? I think we were here. So start from there.
Miss Edison, your son is adult. He is mentally slow and unable to think clearly. We won't let him come to school anymore. Sincerely, Headmaster Jonas Well.
Every life has more than one potential reality. Every life. Could it really be true that the only difference between an ordinary life and the life of extraordinary fulfillment is the way we think?
A lot of people relate riches just to money. Riches take in everything in our life. It takes in our health, our relationships, with ourselves, with other people, as well as our ability to earn money. Money by itself is just an idea. Life should be a rich experience. It should never be shallow. Most people live like minnows in the shallows. They got to get out into the deep, and that's what Hill's material is designed to do.
The hardest thing to actually master is faith. Because faith is the piece that's going to give you the ability to continue through the highs and lows and not just achieve one single vision, but how to apply it to every aspect of your life. Because when you get to that level, you feel like you're manipulating reality.
I don't think there was a point along the way of my career where I wasn't seeing myself in a movie of where I was going to be a year out, 2 years out, 3 years out, and I saw it like it existed. You have to not only picture it, but picture it in living color and in great detail. And then, of course, the book teaches you if you could imagine it, you can accomplish it. And I found that to be entirely true. If I could imagine it, I always got it.
Think and Grow Rich is relevant because we are always going to have to rely, first and foremost, on our thoughts to be able to move anything in our world. So the concept itself is evergreen. It will last the ages.
Timeless principles will be with us in 10,000 years. You've got to know them and you've got to practice them. It's that simple.
Every one of us has inside of us, it's innate, it's in our DNA, the desire to do something big.
One thing I tell people is once you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it long enough, when you break through and you finally make it, there's a release of this unbelievable power and new levels of power you break into just by staying with it.
Every adversity carries a seed of a greater good. Because as a blind person myself, I realized, okay, I got me one big seed of adversity here, and I need to find a greater good, a compensating balance.
Success is how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. It has nothing to do with what the reflection is. It's, are you contributing to society? Do you feel good about who you are and how you live your life?
So if you lived a normal life, what is a normal life? 74, 77 years on Earth? Do the calculus. That only equates to 30,000 days on Earth. Time is not running out, but your life is. You've been chosen, place your fingerprints on life, and make a difference right now. That's what it means to be wealthy.
To me, Think and Grow Rich are 3 words. Think means the mind, and that you need to use the mind to propel you on the path towards success. Grow means that you need to nourish it and constantly seek the growth and improvement of your mind. So the growth and improvement of your mind is what ultimately delivers the payoff, which is you become rich. So to be rich, to me, means control. You're in control of your life. Being able to do the work that I want to do, the way that I want to do it, when I want to do it, and to the level of excellence that I want to do it at. Living life by my own accord.
It's about having freedom. Freedom to choose where you want to be, who you want to be with, what you want to do for a living, how hard you want to work, who you want in your life, who you want out of your life. It's freedom. Freedom to have your life exactly like you dreamt it to be and actually make it happen. That's rich.
Rich is not just synonymous with money. Rich is synonymous with living. Life is about an expression of spirit. How can I be more artfully expressing who I am fully in a joyous way and accepting life as it comes to me without precondition?
The difference is night and day. Once you become successful, once you live a rich life, financially and every other way, you'll wonder, why didn't I do this sooner? This is not a closed club. You can have all you want anytime you want. And it's just a matter of changing your life by simply changing your mind. So the question is never can we, the question is will we? Your future hangs in the balance.
One of my favorite stories from the whole of Think and Grow Rich is the story of Edwin C. Barnes. This is a guy that had absolutely nothing and was really in a desperate place.
I love his story because he just saw one thing. Like, he had a vision for what he wanted and he would not settle.
The story goes of how he approaches Thomas Edison after traveling across the country with nothing in his pocket, literally nothing in his pocket, to go to the greatest inventor probably in history and say, I want to go into business with you.
Trains leaving for Newark, Morristown, Trenton. Ladies and gentlemen, be aware, for the next 30 minutes, trains leaving for Newark, Morristown, and Trenton. All aboard!
Mr. Edison. Mr. Edison. Mr. Edison, I'm Edwin C. Barnes, your new partner.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. How do you do, sir?
Yes, how much for a ticket to Orange, New Jersey?
$16.40.
help you?
Yes, I'm here to meet Mr. Edison.
Do you have an appointment?
No, but tell him that Mr. Edwin C. Barnes is here to meet with him and that I said he'll be very glad to have met me. Thank you.
No. Tell them I don't care. We are not buckling. Do whatever you have to do. So, you're the man I will be glad to have met, are you?
Yes, Mr. Edwin C. Barnes.
And what have you invented, Mr. Barnes?
Nothing, Mr. Edison.
You're not an inventor?
No, sir, I'm a businessman.
And your aim is?
To be your partner in business, sir.
You're not looking for a job?
Sir, I will take whatever job you have to offer, but my ultimate goal is to be in partnership with Mr. Thomas A. Edison.
You seem pretty sure of yourself for a man who hasn't invented anything.
I have something far more powerful.
And what might that be?
I am not interested in anything other than this one goal, and I will do whatever it takes to get it.
You know, I turn away 100 men every week.
I am not at all surprised.
And most of them have invented some darn contraption or other. Electric chicken plucker, a automatic pen refiller, that one cost me a shirt. And you stand here with nothing.
Oh, sir, desire is not nothing.
I guess not.
I have vision. I believe it will come true one day, and I will stick by that, however long and hard the path.
I've learned over the years that when a man desires a thing so deeply that he's willing to sacrifice his entire future on a single turn of the wheel just to get it, you should never bet against that man.
So where should I start working my way up?
Tell Mr. Burroughs to start you in the stockroom.
Thank you.
No.
Demand.
No.
No market.
No. It is not how much it costs, gentlemen. It's how much time and manpower is saved by this dictating machine.
I don't think my region's going to go for it, Mr. Edison.
Your region is New York.
Besides, it doesn't save manpower. It saves women's time. And secretaries are 10 cents a dance.
I believe I can sell you a dictating machine, Mr. Edison.
In New York?
Every city in America. One day, every office, and every town's gonna have one of these. Time is money. When you save one, you make the other.
Even women's time?
No such thing. Time's time.
What's this?
Plans. To sell your invention.
This is a marketing plan. Barnes, I'm giving you the job of head of sales of the Edison dictating machine.
For the whole region?
For the country. I'll have him draw up a contract.
You won't regret it.
And you won't be riding any more freight trains.
As he had envisioned, Edwin C. Barnes became the business partner of Thomas Edison. Under the slogan "Built by Edison, installed by Barnes," their partnership lasted more than 30 years and made Edwin C. Barnes a very rich man. But more importantly, he proved the power of desire.
Patience is such an important commodity to have. Like, most people don't have patience. And that's because they don't have faith. They don't believe that it's going to happen or happen soon enough. And we're in a culture where we want things right now. You gotta be careful with that because that'll destroy you. You end up dabbling and you end up giving up and you end up missing out on so many amazing things that life has to offer if you give up too soon.
My eternal search is, how do I live a half-full life where every day I get up with energy? And the only way to ultimately do that is to calibrate all aspects of your life. and create a life plan from love to business to security. You have to build that if you want to achieve that. And what I would consider true wealth is getting up every day and looking at the world half full.
A few years ago, I was in my office. It was around 9:30 in the evening. And I was shuffling bits of paper and wondering, who am I going to go and see for a bit of business to earn some fees to pay those bills? And the office security guard came in the building to lock up. And he just said to me, time to lock up. And I said, just give me 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes. And then he walked away and I just stood up and went to the filing cabinet and looked at a few files. Who could I call for a bit of business? And he came back again and I said, well, just give me 2 more minutes. And then in that moment, he asked me a question, and this one question changed the whole of my life. He said to me, what time do you get in this morning? I just said, well, 8 o'clock, and then he walked away. But as I stood there by the filing cabinet, I realized, well, I've been up since 6, on the road at 7, in the office at 8 o'clock. It's now 10 in the evening almost. By the time I get home, it's going to be something like 11:15 at night. And I'd done that, not just today, but last week and the week before, in fact, for months, in fact, for years I've been doing that. And being absent from my family, working all these hours, getting absolutely nowhere. And in that moment, I remember standing by the filing cabinet and I grabbed the filing drawer and I just slammed it. And I said, I've had enough of this. In that moment, I had an idea. And the idea came through me. The idea said to me, what you need to do to achieve your goals is you have to set daily standards and live by those standards. Set standards from who you are, authentically from yourself, and be that person just one day at a time. What I did next was I created a sheet that had all my new standards in, you know, how I would take my kids to school in the morning and pick them up from school 3 nights a week, and no more working weekends. That's another rule, another standard. No more evening appointments for clients. And any clients that I have from this point onwards, they'd have to come and see me in the office from anywhere in the country. And also I'd go home and I would have meals with my family, and I would exercise and train every single day. I even make standards around my clients, how much income they should have, the wealth that they should have, and they must be nice people. I've got my goals, but unless I'm involved and committed to my life on a daily basis, the only unit of time we really have is today, because we're here today. I was one of the worst producers in the company, although I did the most hours. I was about 1200th in terms of new business results. 3 years later, after my moment, the company's 1600 strong, and I'm 28th in the company working part-time. I'd increased my income by 10 times, working less than half the time that I used to, sticking to these standards and being my authentic self. So my life changed. We had lots of holidays, we bought another home, and we had all the trappings of life. But my real riches came in my relationships with my wife, my children. I became a better son. I became a better brother, a better friend to all those around me, and I grew rich in relationships and in love.
Well, I've been rich and I've been poor. Rich is a lot better, but rich means I don't have to change my time for someone else's money. I can do anything I want because I think it's good and pure and powerful and honorable and significant. I get to do what I want to do. So whether it's feeding people in Haiti or sending 500 kids to college or creating a nice lifestyle for myself and those people I care about, being rich is living life the way you feel you should be and having the wherewithal to do it.
The Henry Ford story totally blew me away, and I was able to read it and immediately act on it. I was great at certain things in my business, which I knew what they were: imagination. I was great at marketing. I was great at recruiting, all the outside things, but I wasn't any good at all at reading numbers or understanding finance. When I read that Henry Ford story, I immediately went out and I hired Esther Kaplan, my opposite, as my business partner. She could do financial statements, get the money from the bank, create the systems, do personnel management, all this stuff that I wasn't good at, she was great at. And if not for that story, I don't think I would have seen the light that you can always hire the attributes in the next guy that you don't have yourself and build an empire on their know-how versus your know-how. And that made me really not only smarter, but set me free.
merely an ignorant idealist, but an anarchistic enemy of the nation, capable of thought, cannot see the ignominy. Get me Landers. Did you see it? It's libel. I'm going to sue the Chicago Tribune for $1 million.
On this day in 1919, the whole world was watching to see if Henry Ford could prove that his success was not by chance. The only question was, would he succeed?
Mr. Ford, is today the day?
How does it feel to be the voice of the common man?
Mr. Ford, what do you think, Mr. Ford?
Your Honor, since the case for libel rests on the determination as to whether what the Chicago Tribune printed was true or not, defense would like to call Henry Ford to the stand for a demonstration as to whether or not he is an ignorant man.
Very well, Mr. Ford, you will take the stand.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Ford, I'm going to ask you a few simple questions to determine whether or not you're an ignorant man. How much schooling do you have?
I went to grammar school to the age of 16 when I quit to become a mechanic in a machine shop. That turned out to be a considerably more useful education for the work I would become famous for.
Can you tell me how many soldiers the British sent to America to put down the rebellion of 1776?
Well, I don't know the exact amount, but I heard it was considerably larger than ever went back.
Who was Secretary of State under James Madison?
I myself was not alive in 1811. And even if I was, I don't see how that particular tidbit would help me run my business. How many people in this courtroom know the answer
Your Honor,
to that
I
question?
object. The witness is not permitted to question the public.
Nobody? Doesn't surprise me. And how many of you good people got a college education?
Your Honor.
I suggest you try to get your money back on that, since the Chicago Tribune could write that you're ignorant on the front page of their newspaper and try to get away with proving it.
Mr. Ford, would you please confine yourself to answering the question?
Well, can you repeat the question?
Who was Secretary of State under James Madison?
Well, I can answer that at once. The answer is, I do not know. Off the record, Judge, you know the answer to that one.
Off the record, no.
And you got at least 2 college degrees.
I have 3 university degrees.
Well, it seems like a pretty silly way to measure intelligence. I can maybe save us all a little time here, gentlemen. As you know, I am one of the most successful manufacturers in this country. Folks drive my cars in every city in America, and they outnumber all the other types of cars by a big margin. I raised the wages of my workers to $5 per day. Ever heard of anybody else doing that? If I don't choose to clutter up my brain with general facts and tidbits of historical knowledge, well, I don't have to. As I have a row of electric buttons on my desk, I can push anyone and have at my elbow an expert in every branch of knowledge who are on my payroll. Does that sound ignorant to you?
The witness is trying to take over this trial again, Your Honor. I move that he be found in contempt of this court.
Motion denied, Mr. Jensen. I think we're about finished here.
I am almost finished here, Judge. I want to ask one last question. Do you think an ignorant hick tripped in a junkyard and accidentally invented the internal combustion engine-powered automobile? If you think that, I suggest you try making one at home from scratch. Then we'll compare it to my creation and see whose looks like it was made by an ignorant man incapable of thought.
Through the assistance of his mastermind group, Henry Ford had at his command all the specialized knowledge he needed to enable him to become one of the most accomplished people in the world.
The court finds in favor of the plaintiff, the Honorable Henry Ford.
Hi guys. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope that you enjoyed the first part of that movie as much as I have. I have seen that probably a half dozen times, and every single time I walk away with more nuggets. And I know that we're going to go over here a little bit tonight, but I know that there's no follow-up team calls during the summer. So a couple things. Your next assignment that you're going to see before next Monday night's calls, an assignment on the really two topics that they talked about in this part of the movie, and that's desire laced with faith. Desire laced with faith. Okay, so desire really is the first principle of success, but without a foundation of faith, okay, it's very often not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to give you some bullets on what I've learned from the movie about faith. Faith is the starting point of the accumulation of all riches. Faith is the basis for miracles and mysteries that cannot be explained. And faith is the only known antidote for failure. Now, desire, oh my gosh, what did you think of the Barnes story? Oh my gosh. Now you talk about desire, purposeful, single, yes, desire. So the assignment before we come together next Monday night, and what we'll do next Monday night is we'll have open mic. You know, we'll have time to let everybody talk. Desire. Okay, what exact amount of money do you desire? What exactly will you give in return for this money? Remember, nothing will ever come. Remember, something never comes from nothing. You have to give before you can receive. All right, so those are the kinds of questions that we will post for the next call next week. So Kathy, if you want to unmute everybody. I absolutely loved all the contributions. You were paying attention. Does anybody have any comment before we say goodbye tonight?
Hey, this is Laura and Bob in North Carolina. Hey, we attended the Paradigm Shift in LA in April with Bob Proctor, and it was amazing.
He's been a teacher. He was a teacher of mine 20 years ago.
Yeah, so so to be able to see the movie, I haven't seen that, but we're reading and looking and studying this. It's amazing. So thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a part of this tonight. Anybody else have any comments from what we've experienced tonight? All right, know this, guys, that remember, awareness is the first law of learning. The second law is repetition. Don't be afraid to review your notes or, you know, expose yourself to this information over and over again. Jennifer, do you have a comment? I loved what everybody was posting. All right, it's 6:30. It's 6:36 on the West Coast, but it's 8:36 Central Time. 9:36 out there on the Eastern Coast. So thanks for being with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. You know, come back next Monday night and we'll continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Terry.
Thank you, Terry, so much.
Wonderful. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.